Sit back and enjoy 2 hours of fascinating facts you didn't know. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Let's get started.
Have you ever seen living stones? That is the name given to this plant native to South Africa. Its real name is lithops, and it is known as living stones because of its resemblance to rocks, except that these grow and bloom during the fall. Although they are cultivated all over the world, many people are unaware of their existence. Have you heard of Prince Rupert's drops? They are a curious form of glass that has captured the attention of scientists and the curious for centuries. This glass drop is characterized by its appearance, similar to a transparent tadpole. The most surprising thing about this structure is its exceptional strength, since not even a hammer can break it. Only a bullet can destroy it, but even the bullet can shatter into pieces upon impacting the drop. Owls adopt a special posture to camouflage themselves in trees. They contract their muscles and feathers, elongating and thinning their bodies to resemble a tree branch, which helps them go unnoticed among the foliage. At the monastery of Alcobaça in Portugal, there is a narrow door with a very peculiar purpose: to keep monks thin. At about 6 feet 7 inches tall and only around 12.6 inches wide, this entrance to the dining hall was designed to prevent overeating among the most gluttonous monks. Those who gained weight could not pass through it, losing access to the dining hall and being forced to lose weight as punishment, an extreme measure to ensure moderation in eating within the monastery. This is a male spider that dances to save his life, since in this species, the females, although less colorful, are larger and stronger than the males. They are known as peacock spiders and usually perform this mating ritual for several minutes. Here, the females choose the male they like best based on his pattern, vibration, and movement. However, if the male does not appeal to them, they may try to eat him, so he must remain alert and jump away if necessary. In the 18th century, a Russian woman gave birth to 69 children over the course of her life. Although this story sounds improbable, a monastery in Moscow has records of a peasant woman who had 69 children between the years 1735 and 1765. There were 16 sets of twins, 7 sets of triplets, and 4 sets of quadruplets, divided into 27 different births. If true, it is the record for the woman who gave birth to the most children in all of history, reflecting the living conditions and women's health at that time. This strange creature is a brittle star and is closely related to starfish. What stands out the most are its 5 long flexible arms that extend from the central disc, which can measure more than about 20 inches in length. It uses them to swim or capture its prey. Sam Van Aken, an art professor at Syracuse University, has created an extraordinary tree known as the Tree of 40 Fruit. This tree, the result of the grafting process, is capable of producing up to 40 different types of fruit, including peaches, apricots, plums, and cherries. Van Aken has planted several of these trees in different states across the United States, astonishing everyone with his ingenious creation. This is the goat with the largest ears in the world. The animal, named Simba, lives a life full of pampering in Karachi. At the time of his birth, his ears were already unusually long, and they have continued to grow. They currently measure approximately 21.3 inches. This species is called Greta odo, also known as the glass-wing butterfly. It belongs to the family Nymphalidae. Its wings are transparent due to the lack of colored scales in the tissue between the veins. Snakes that feed on eggs, such as blind snakes, do not have teeth. They have extremely flexible jaws and necks that allow them to swallow large eggs, sometimes up to 3 times the size of their head. These adaptations allow them to consume their food without breaking the egg, since their bodies are designed to digest both the contents and the shell. In 1964, Swedish journalist Åke Axelsson devised an experiment to test whether art critics could distinguish between human work and that of an animal. He exhibited 4 paintings made by a chimpanzee named Peter under the name Pierre Brasseur, a supposed French artist. Although some reviews were negative, one stood out. Pierre is an artist whose pieces are carried out with the delicacy of a ballet dancer. Only one person correctly identified that the work was by the chimpanzee.
Atomic immobility is a natural state of paralysis in certain animals, including sharks. In them, it can be induced by gently stroking their snout, where they have sensitive nerve endings. This phenomenon is sometimes used by researchers to study sharks safely. However, not all species respond the same way, and the practice must be carried out with caution.
The Borzoi, also known as the Russian wolfhound, is a dog breed known for its long and elegant snout.
Although it cannot be stated that it has the longest snout absolutely, this feature is one of its most distinctive traits and makes it stand out among other breeds. In China, it is relatively common for some people to refuse to sell their homes to construction companies, even when large urban development projects are planned. These properties, known as nail houses, often end up surrounded by highways, skyscrapers, or other constructions, as owners resist purchase offers for various reasons, such as personal principles or disagreements over compensation. Li Longlong, a Chinese man, holds the Guinness record for climbing 36 steps using only his head. He achieved this on January 5, 2015, during a special program in China. Previously, he had climbed 34 steps, a record he shared with Zhao Xiaolong. In Yoro, a small city in northern Honduras, fish rain from the sky. This strange phenomenon occurs once a year between May and June during the transition from spring to summer and has been happening for more than 100 years. The streets are flooded with small silver fish of the sardine or bislancha species, which are curiously often still alive. Locals consider it a gift from the sky, since so far no scientific explanation has been found. Silver ferns can leave temporary tattoos on the skin when they come in contact with their reproductive spores. These adhere superficially, forming visible patterns that fade over time, since they do not penetrate the skin. The photograph of the iceberg believed to have sunk the Titanic was taken the following morning by the captain of the SMS Prince Adalbert. The iceberg was photographed approximately 11 or 12 hours after the sinking. Meet the purple frog, also known as Nasica batrachus siadrensis, which inhabits the Western Ghats of India. This species was discovered in 2003 and is famous for its distinctive appearance and subterranean habits. Its skin is dark purple, and its body is stocky with short limbs. Due to its unique look and behavior, it is considered one of the strangest frogs in the world. The Cave of the Crystals, also known as the Nika Cave, is located about 984 feet underground in Nika, Chihuahua, Mexico. The selenite gypsum crystals in this cave are truly impressive, with some reaching more than 39.4 feet in length. The cave is extremely hot, with temperatures that can reach 136.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Could you move the heaviest sphere in the world? Outside the Virginia Science Museum, there is this peculiar fountain with a large, solid granite sphere. The sphere weighs 50,000 pounds, but you can move it easily, all thanks to the fact that it sits on a thin layer of water. Even a child can move it without difficulty. The hydraulic system allows the axis of rotation of the sphere to be changed, and it can spin in any direction you want. This mechanism is known as a Kugel fountain. Tickle Me Elmo is an interactive toy famous for its movements and sounds. Its internal structure is made up of wires, gears, and metal mechanisms that allow these functions. Without its characteristic red plush fabric covering, the toy reveals its mechanical design. This uncovered appearance can be striking and give it a creepy look. The video titled The Boxing Cats, recorded in 1894, is considered the oldest known recording of cats. This video was filmed at Thomas Edison's Black Maria studio in West Orange, New Jersey. The Proteus, also known as the olm or human fish, is an aquatic amphibian that lives in caves in the Balkan region, especially in Slovenia, Croatia, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. It is notable for its unique appearance and adaptations to subterranean life. It has lost skin pigmentation, and its eyes are atrophied since it lives in complete darkness. Instead of sight, it relies on other senses, such as smell and sensitivity to vibrations. The name rattlesnake comes from the distinctive rattles it has at the tip of its tail. These rattles are formed by hollow, overlapping keratin segments filled with air. When the snake moves, the segments strike each other and produce a characteristic vibrating sound that serves as a warning to predators or other animals that may pose a threat. There are non-traditional sports in the world, but one of the strangest is without a doubt toe wrestling. This curious sport was invented in England in 1976. Like any discipline, it requires training and preparation. It is necessary to properly exercise the toes, as well as the arms, shoulders, and abdomen. In southwestern Siberia, in the Kuzbas region, black snow is a real phenomenon. This occurs due to coal dust emissions from factories and mines in the area that exceed the capacity of filtration systems. These dark particles adhere to the snow, causing it to appear black. This phenomenon is harmful to health and the environment, and authorities are working to address the problem. What you see on screen is not a branch, it is a Gongulus gonguloides, called the wandering violin mantis.
It is an insect about 4 inches long with very long limbs that resemble sticks. This is something it takes great advantage of, as it usually sways its body back and forth to imitate a branch moving in the wind. This allows it to camouflage itself and catch its prey without being noticed until it is too late.
A human consumes between 100 and 3,000 calories per day, depending on age and physical activity. On the other hand, the blue whale, the largest animal in the world, consumes about 16 tons of krill daily. This is equivalent to approximately 20 million calories.
The giant African snail, Achatina fuliga, is one of the largest land snails in the world, with a shell that can measure between about 10 and 12 inches in length and a little over 3 inches in height. In addition, it is included on the list of the 100 most harmful invasive alien species in the world due to its ability to cause significant damage to agriculture and biodiversity. This jinnisi is one of the rarest in the world. Inlavu gin is a unique South African gin made using ingredients derived from elephant dung. The dung is dried, sterilized, clarified, and infused into the gin. Each bottle of Inlavu carries the GPS coordinates of the location where the dung was collected and the collection date. The price of a bottle is approximately $35. Did you know that the chicks of some bird species expel their waste in fecal sacs? These sacs are made of a tough, whitish mucus that encloses the droppings. Adult birds remove these sacs from the nest to keep it clean and prevent infections, although sometimes they also eat them. A group of researchers from the Royal Veterinary College of London conducted a study in which they used soap bubbles and helium to visualize the flight of an owl. They discovered that owls generate air vortices when flapping their wings, creating a phenomenon known as induced drag. This phenomenon also occurs in airplanes and could be useful for aeronautical engineering in the future. Rumeysa Gelgi of Turkey is the tallest woman in the world with a height of approximately 7 feet 1 inch. She also holds the titles for the longest hands of a living person, with hands measuring nearly 10 inches. Clyde Tombaugh, the man who discovered Pluto, was the first person to see the celestial body up close. Well, his ashes were. They were aboard the New Horizons spacecraft, which flew past Pluto in 2015. Marie Curie's research documents are still extremely radioactive, due to their constant exposure to radioactive elements, such as polonium and radium. Her laboratory and belongings, including her lab notebooks, remain dangerous to handle and are expected to stay that way for approximately 1,600 more years. The documents are stored in lead-lined boxes at the National Library of France, and protective equipment is required to handle them. In 1924, a human chess match was played in Leningrad, now St. Petersburg, between two grandmasters. It lasted 5 hours and ended in a draw. This event was a remarkable demonstration of chess, with each move carried out by actors dressed as chess pieces on a giant board. Compared to adult pandas that weigh hundreds of pounds, baby pandas are extremely tiny, with a weight that usually ranges between about 3 and almost 5 ounces. The main reason for their small size is that pandas have a bamboo-based diet, which is not very nutritious. This means that the fetuses do not receive enough nutrients to grow larger before birth. Artificial clouds do exist. They are a technological innovation created to combat climate change by manipulating Earth's weather. They are created by dispersing particles into the atmosphere to reflect solar radiation and thus cool the planet. It is a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen, that is vapor, which when released into the sky begins to cause rain after about 1 hour. Africa produces the largest amount of cocoa in the world, with Ivory Coast leading with 38% of global production. Other major producers include Ghana, Nigeria, and Cameroon. In Mexico, the main cocoa producers are Tabasco, which contributes more than 60% of national production, followed by Chiapas and Guerrero. When we wake up, we are taller than when we go to sleep, with a difference of between 0.4 and 0.8 inches. This is due to the reduction of pressure on the intervertebral discs of the spine during rest. The spine is made up of vertebrae separated by these discs, which expand during the night. A person's height is determined 80% by genetics and 20% by factors such as nutrition and environment. Ashrita Furman from the United States is recognized as the person with the most Guinness World Records in the world. Since 1979, he has set more than 600 official records and currently holds more than 200 of them. His achievements span a wide variety of skills, including juggling, long-distance running, and other unusual categories. The fruit with the highest sugar content is the date. The date is a small, oval-shaped fruit that comes from the date palm. It is famous for its high sugar content, On average, it contains around 2.1 to 2.5 ounces of sugar per every 3.5 ounces of fruit, which is about 60% sugar.
There are several artists known for creating miniatures and sculptures on the tip of pencils. One of the most famous is Dalton Getty, who carves intricate sculptures into pencil graphite. His meticulous and detailed work has captured the attention of many, demonstrating that art has no limits.
This is Stephanie Millinger, a famous Austrian acrobat and contortionist, known for her impressive skills and her ability to perform extreme acrobatics. Her performances are truly incredible, and she has gained recognition worldwide for her feats.
The sculpture Karma, created by artist Do Ho Soo, consists of 98 sculptures arranged in an ascending formation and is located in places such as Sydney and the Sculpture Garden of the New Orleans Museum of Art.
It is estimated that there are around 350,000 different species of beetles described and cataloged by scientists, although the total number is believed to be much higher, possibly between 5 and 30 million species. On many commercial airplanes, there is no row 13, since this number is considered unlucky in Western cultures. This superstition, known as triskaidekaphobia, also affects buildings that omit the 13th floor. Although airplanes are highly functional designs, this detail reflects how cultural beliefs influence even the aviation industry to provide psychological comfort to superstitious passengers.
This was the check for $7.2 million, with which the United States bought Alaska from the Russians in 1867. Today, this is equivalent to $144 million. This transaction is considered one of the most strategic and profitable deals in history due to Alaska's natural resources and strategic location.
Xenos motoni is a parasite that infects Asian wasps, such as the Asian giant hornet or Vespa mandarinia. This parasite can grow to be larger than the host insect and alter its behavior. When an infected wasp interacts with another infected wasp, the male parasite transfers and mates with the female parasite inside the host. Then, the infected female wasp deposits the offspring into other uninfected insects, spreading the parasite throughout its environment. The next time you pick up a banana, make sure it is not a snake known as a ball python. It is a very shy species with a harmless and non-aggressive nature. It reacts by curling up into a ball, which is where its name comes from.
This is a ghost apple, a phenomenon that occurs under the most extreme weather conditions. When temperatures drop too low, apples begin to decompose and eventually rot. When freezing rain settles on them, it freezes instantly, creating a shell of ice around them. When temperatures rise slightly, the already rotten fruit thaws before the ice and falls to the ground, leaving behind its icy ghost. Woodpeckers can peck a tree trunk up to 20 times per second without damaging their brains thanks to several special adaptations. These include an impact-absorbing structure in their skull, tongue, neck muscles, beak, and bones. Their skull bones have a different composition and density compared to other species, and they contain a small amount of fluid inside the skull that prevents the brain from moving during pecking. In addition, their tongue has an embedded bone that helps protect their eyes. Urinating on a jellyfish sting is a popular myth and is not an effective solution. In fact, it can make the situation worse by releasing more venom. Instead, experts recommend rinsing the affected area with seawater to remove any remaining tentacles, and then applying vinegar to deactivate the venom's stinging cells. The monarch butterfly is famous for its annual migration of thousands of miles from North America to Mexico. This is one of the most impressive phenomena in nature. During their journey, monarch butterflies can cover a distance of up to about 100 miles per day. This migration spans several generations of butterflies and is an extraordinary journey that usually takes them to the Oyamel fir forests in Mexico, where they spend the winter.
This is one of the largest freshwater fish in the world, and it is capable of breathing outside of water. Its name is Arapaima, and it is distributed in dense, low-oxygen rivers throughout the Amazon basin in Brazil, Peru, and Guyana. This is due to its natural habitat, which has allowed it to acquire the ability to breathe pure air regularly. The body of this fish reaches 9.8 feet in length and weighs up to approximately 441 pounds. Dolphins are the most intelligent animals in the ocean, or among the most intelligent. It could even be said that their brains are similar to ours. What you see now is a human brain next to a dolphin's brain. The largest part of their brain is the cerebral neocortex, where thinking processes are generated, just like in humans. Thanks to this, dolphins have strong social skills and are able to understand basic commands.
In Sweden, there is an adorable pony named Alvin who has entered the Guinness Book of Records for being the only pony capable of walking 16.4 feet on its two hind legs. The trainer admits that when she first met Alvin, she saw something special in him that made him unique. Thanks to strict training and many rewards, he managed to break this record. Crocodiles can reach speeds of up to about 12 miles per hour over short distances, especially when they feel threatened or are hunting. This speed allows them to carry out rapid ambushes and capture their prey efficiently. Hamako Mori, also known as Gamer Grandma, is the oldest video game YouTuber in the world. She was born on February 18, 1930, which makes her 94 years old. She began playing video games in 1981, at 51 years old, and created her YouTube channel in 2014. She currently spends about 8 hours a day playing and uploads 2 to 3 videos per month. The ocean sunfish is one of the heaviest fish in the world, with a weight that can range between approximately 1 and 2 short tons and a length that exceeds 10 feet. These giants inhabit tropical waters and can be found in various oceans around the planet. Females of this species are capable of producing up to 300 million eggs, more than any other known vertebrate. At birth, the fry are so small that they barely reach the size of a fingertip. These cars you are seeing are not the result of Photoshop. They actually exist and are the work of Austrian artist Erwin Wurm, known for his unusual sculptures. His series of inflated cars is one of his most famous creations. He began working on these sculptures in 2004 and uses a mixture of polyurethane foam and polystyrene to shape them. These sculptures have a truly curious appearance and make the cars look as if they are inflated like balloons. Although they lack wheels, there are wheelchairs in the world designed for fish. They were handcrafted by a caretaker at the San Antonio Aquarium in the United States. The wheelchair functions more like a float and includes a piece of polystyrene foam, which allows it to control stability. Surprisingly, it is not the only wheelchair design made for fish. There are some more homemade versions that serve the same purpose and allow these animals to float without problems. Every 20 years, a group of scientists from the University of Michigan digs up bottles hidden more than a century ago by the botanist William James Beale. This experiment, begun in 1879, seeks to determine how long weed seeds can survive in the soil. Beale buried 20 bottles in different locations in the field, with the simple rule that scientists must remove one every 20 years to check whether the seeds can still germinate. Believe it or not, this gift was sold for $500,000. For the 10th anniversary of Nyan Cat, its creator, Chris Torres, decided to make a remastered version and auction it on an art platform. This piece was sold for $500,000, a surprisingly high and absurd figure, considering the simplicity of the work. The Hollywood sign did not always say Hollywood. The original sign was erected in 1923 as an advertising campaign for a luxury housing development called Hollywoodland. Over the years, the sign deteriorated, so it was decided to restore it on the condition that the word land be removed, which is exactly what happened in 1949. Tree growth rings represent each year of a tree's life. The light sections indicate rapid growth in spring, while the darker ones reflect slow growth in autumn. Narrower rings can signal droughts, while wider ones indicate favorable climates. In addition, dark scars in the rings can provide evidence of fires. This method, known as dendrochronology, allows past climatic and environmental events to be studied with precision and is a valuable tool in scientific research. In the 1920s, many women were fined for wearing short skirts. Modesty laws at the time were quite strict, and women who did not comply with these rules could face fines and other penalties. On the moon, there is a small sculpture called Fallen Astronaut and a plaque that pays tribute to astronauts and cosmonauts who died in space missions. It was left during the Apollo 15 mission in 1971 by astronaut David Scott. Kittim Cave, located in Mount Elgon National Park in Kenya, is considered one of the most dangerous natural places in the world. The cave is known for harboring deadly viruses such as the Marburg virus, which can cause severe hemorrhagic fever. The entrance to the cave is difficult to traverse and presents additional risks due to the unusual animals that inhabit its interior, including elephants and bats. This doll is a complex computer from the 18th century, built with about 6,000 pieces. Its name is the Writer, and it was created by Pierre-Jacques Droz. It is a kind of programmable mechanical automaton capable of writing words with a quill pen. It was one of the most complex mechanisms Pierre created during his lifetime. An egg tooth is a hard protrusion on the snout of some birds and reptiles. It helps babies escape from the egg when it is time to hatch. Contrary to what its name suggests, it is not actually a tooth, but a hardened patch of skin that disappears shortly after birth.
In 2020, a red-haired albino seal with blue eyes was discovered on Tuleni Island in the Sea of Okhotsk, Russia. This phenomenon is extremely rare, with a probability of approximately 1 in 100,000. These seals can be rejected by their colony due to their unusual appearance. The phenomenon of tickling occurs because our brain anticipates and adjusts the sensation of touch on our body. When we touch ourselves, the brain predicts the movement and reduces the sensory response. However, when another person touches us, there is no such anticipation, which causes a stronger response and a ticklish sensation. This difference is related to how the brain processes movement and contact signals, increasing sensitivity to the unexpected. Meet Sabetta cyaneus. It is the most elegant mosquito in the world. Its metallic blue color contrasts with the silver spots on its abdomen. Its legs have elongated scale-like structures that resemble feathers. This is the oldest bottle of wine in the world. It is located at the Historical Museum of the Palatina of Speyer in Germany. It is called the Speyer wine bottle, or Romer wine, and it is believed to be more than 1,700 years old. No one has opened it for fear that it might break and spill all its contents, which scientists believe to be highly toxic, in addition to having a very unpleasant appearance. Not all monarch butterflies have the same lifespan. Generally, they live for 2 to 6 weeks, but the fourth generation, which migrates south in search of warmer places, lives between 6 and 8 months. In California, driving too slowly can result in a fine of up to $238. State law seeks to prevent drivers from interfering with the normal flow of traffic. According to the vehicle code, maintaining a minimum speed is mandatory on certain roads. However, there are exceptions in specific cases, such as adverse weather conditions or safety reasons, which allow driving below the established limit. The Peace Flame in Hiroshima, Japan was lit in 1964 and is located in the Peace Memorial Park. This monument symbolizes the desire for a world free of nuclear weapons. Its flame will remain lit until all nuclear weapons are eliminated from the planet. The trick of the woman being cut in half has been one of the great secrets of magicians, but someone decided to reveal it. With these images created by internet users, you can get an idea of how the famous trick is done. It involves 2 assistants, not one. Each hides half of her body, creating the illusion that she has been cut into 2 parts. Although there is no conclusive scientific evidence to support the claim that mustard helps relieve muscle cramps, it is a popular home remedy among some athletes. The theory suggests that electrolytes in mustard, such as sodium and potassium, may help replenish minerals lost during exercise. In addition, it is believed that mustard and other strong-flavored foods activate a group of nerve receptors in the mouth that stimulate and distract the nervous system, interrupting the nerve impulses that cause cramps. In the village of Dinosara in Montenegro, there is a mulberry tree that has fascinated tourists and the curious. During heavy rains, underground springs flood, and the additional pressure causes water to rise through the hollow trunk of the tree, escaping through holes and giving the appearance of a fountain. In Denmark, there is a tradition in which friends and family of a person who turns 25 and is still single shower them with cinnamon. Sometimes the person is tied to a chair or a lamppost to make the ritual more effective. This custom is believed to bring good luck and help the person find a partner. Clownfish have a symbiotic relationship with sea anemones, in which both benefit. Anemones provide protection for clownfish, and the fish defend the anemones from potential predators. This is how manta rays are fed in captivity. A tube or hose is used so that the food reaches the bottom without being eaten by other fish. The reason airplanes have a hole in the back is the APU exhaust, or auxiliary power unit. This device functions as a generator, providing electrical power to the aircraft while it is parked with the main engines turned off. In addition to supplying electrical power, the APU also allows the main engines to be started when needed. This system is especially useful for maintaining essential functions such as air conditioning and communication systems while the aircraft is on the ground. The original animatronic used in the movie E.T. the Extraterrestrial was an innovative piece created by Carlo Rambaldi. This model, built in 1981, had 85 points of movement and was a feat of engineering for its time. Today, the animatronic is considered a cinematic relic and has been auctioned for millions of dollars. Brandon Withrow, an American engineer, designed a small television using a 3-dimensional printer.
This mini television plays episodes of The Simpsons on a random loop. The project uses a Raspberry Pi Zero and a thin-film transistor liquid crystal display screen, among other components. Shin Rashik is a Japanese artist known for his moving paper illustrations. He uses creative techniques to transform two-dimensional prints into dynamic works that seem to come to life. His work combines art and technical skill, standing out for its originality and detail. In this video, you can see how a bird apparently helps a hedgehog cross a highway so it does not get run over by a car. It seems that the bird pecks at the small mammal to force it to move forward. Did you know that flour made from cockroaches exists? It is an alternative produced by Brazilian researchers to combat the food shortages expected in the future due to the growth of the human population. A variety native to northern Africa, called the locust cockroach, makes up only 10% of the flour. It is made from this ground insect, but since it is a rich source of protein, it can increase the nutritional value of foods. In addition, according to its creators, its taste is not very different from that of regular flour. Germany has the only tree in the world with its own postal code. It is known as the love oak, and each year receives about 1,000 letters from people looking for a partner. The idea is that anyone can take a letter from the tree and contact the person. This tradition, which began in 1890, has brought many couples together over the years. Doctors at a general hospital in China removed a spoon from the esophagus of a 20-year-old patient. The most serious part of all is that the object had been inside him for 1 year. According to what he told the media, he swallowed it during a party to impress his friends. Apparently, it must not have caused him too much discomfort, since he did not seek medical help until 1 year later. He went to the hospital when he began to feel very intense chest pain and difficulty breathing. The Changli S1 Pro is considered the cheapest car on the market. Although its top speed is approximately 28 miles per hour, its range is up to about 75 miles on a single charge. This car has gained popularity in countries such as China and India, where there is a strong need for affordable mobility. You can buy it online for only $996, and it is delivered straight to your doorstep sealed inside a box. Palm trees are able to withstand hurricanes thanks to the unique structure of their trunks. Unlike other trees, their trunks are not made of wood and lack typical growth rings. Inside, they have a composition of spongy fibers, many of which are elastic. This characteristic gives them great flexibility, allowing them to bend with strong winds without breaking. This is the secret that allows them to endure the extreme conditions of hurricanes. The Galapagos Islands, located in Ecuador, are famous for their astonishing biodiversity. These islands were fundamental to the development of Charles Darwin's theories of evolution. He visited them in 1835 and observed various species that helped him formulate his theory of natural selection.
This is the oldest piano in the world. It was made in 1720 by the pianist Bartolomeo Cristofori, an Italian musician who invented the first pianos in 1700, paving the way for the modern piano. Although its keyboard is short, it includes low, middle, and high tones, making it a very versatile accompaniment. This instrument has been an important model in the construction of pianos over the past centuries.
This is Skye Cowton, the 9-year-old gymnast and contortionist who played this clicker in episode 5 of The Last of Us. Skye was born in Toronto, Canada, and for years she has practiced gymnastics, acrobatic dance, and contortion, which made her perfect for bringing the terrifying clicker girl to life. Meet Emma Gibson, the embryo that was frozen in 1992 and was born in 2017, after 25 years, making it the embryo that remained frozen for the longest time before being born as a baby. The procedure to make this possible involves extracting eggs from the ovaries, fertilizing them, allowing them to grow, and then freezing them. The embryos are placed in a solution that protects them from damage caused by ice crystals, and once thawed, the embryo can be implanted in a woman. In 1999, Bill Morgan, a man from Melbourne, Australia, won a new Toyota Corolla valued at $30,000 by scratching a lottery ticket. 2 weeks later, a local television network invited him to recreate the moment for a recording, and surprisingly, he won the grand prize of $250,000 while being filmed. This unusual event turned him into a media sensation, and he is known as one of the luckiest men in the world. Dr. Donald Unger carried out a personal experiment for more than 60 years, cracking the knuckles of his left hand daily while avoiding doing so with his right hand.
At the end of this long experiment, he found no differences between the two hands and did not develop arthritis in either one.
The ankle trackers that people must wear while serving house arrest were inspired by a Spider-Man comic from 1977, in which a supervillain places a radar device on Spider-Man's arm.
McDonald's is one of the most successful franchises in the world, but there is a country where it is not very popular. In 2014, McDonald's arrived in Vietnam. At first, it was well received, and people lined up to try its burgers. But the excitement quickly faded, and sales began to decline. Locals prefer to eat at traditional Vietnamese food spots because the service is much faster and cheaper.
This is Nikobo, an adorable companion robot created to brighten the lives of people who do not have real pets. It was developed by the technology company Panasonic in collaboration with the Michio Oka Laboratory at the Toyohashi University of Technology. It is only available in Japan, and no more than 320 units are produced. It has been described as a cat, although, as you can see, it looks more like a Pokemon.
The Vatican is the largest owner of gold in the world, with 60,000 tons, representing 30% of all the gold extracted in history. This is twice the amount of gold held in reserve by all the countries of the world combined. For most of the past 1,000 years, the Catholic Church has held a dominant position that has allowed it to control gold markets worldwide to such a degree that it is capable of eradicating global poverty twice.
In the Peruvian Amazon rainforest, there is a boiling river, also known as Tempishka. This river is the largest thermal river in the world. Its waters reach temperatures of up to 212 degrees Fahrenheit and are believed to be heated by underground thermal currents. Despite its danger, the river is sacred to local indigenous communities and attracts scientists and adventurous tourists. The Moraki boulders are large, round rocks found on the coast of New Zealand, near Kokohe Beach in Otago. These rock formations were created by the cementation of sediments on the seafloor approximately 60 million years ago. Their unique appearance has led to various theories about their origin, including that they are dinosaur eggs or extraterrestrial remains.
This is black fire, and to create it, ethanol, sodium salt, and a street lamp are used. The trick is that although we usually perceive the photons emitted by sodium as orange light, sodium not only emits light of this color, but also has the ability to absorb it. That is why when a flame is sprayed with salt next to a lamp that is emitting photons at the same wavelength, the orange color disappears.
Atlas is a humanoid robot developed by Boston Dynamics and first presented in 2013. Over the years, it has been continuously improved and optimized to perform various tasks, with a special focus on search and rescue. Atlas has been tested in extreme temperatures and can carry heavy objects, walk on unstable terrain, maintain balance, and even perform backflips.
Meet the incredible lanternfish. The color of its eyes is due to the fact that they are filled with symbiotic bioluminescent bacteria that glow in the dark in different colors with just a blink. These fish use this light to attract food, mate, and escape predators. NASA has carried out multiple successful lunar missions, in addition to Apollo 11. However, not all subsequent missions had the same level of success due to a variety of factors that may include budget limitations, technical problems, changes in exploration priorities, and risks inherent to space exploration. Ninjas were secret agents during the feudal period of Japan, acting as spies and saboteurs. Although historical ninjas no longer exist, the art of ninjutsu has been preserved and adapted into modern martial arts. There are schools that teach techniques based on traditional methods. In addition, ninjas have a strong presence in popular culture, appearing in movies, series, and video games. Their stealth techniques have also been adapted into modern security and espionage practices. Historically, it was believed that the appendix served little purpose in the body. However, recent studies have shown that it plays an important role in the human immune system, protecting the body against potential threats. In addition, the appendix acts as a kind of reservoir for beneficial bacteria in the gut, which is especially useful after illness or after undergoing antibiotic therapy. The Shimao Wonderland Intercontinental Hotel, also known as the Songjiang Quarry Hotel, was built inside an abandoned quarry near Shanghai, China. This luxury hotel has 337 rooms distributed across 18 floors, 2 of which are underwater. It opened to the public in November of 2017 and has become a landmark in architecture and hospitality. Rolex, founded in 1905 by Hans Wilsdorf, was the first company to create a waterproof wristwatch called the Oyster in 1926. To demonstrate its reliability, in 1922, Rolex sponsored a swimmer named Mercedes Gleitz in her attempt to cross the English Channel. She swam for more than 10 hours with the watch on her wrist, and when she reached dry land, the watch was still working perfectly. This event was one of the first examples of test marketing in history and helped establish Rolex as a brand of precision and durability. In 2018, the Russian brand of Domino's Pizza launched a promotion promising 100 free pizzas per year to anyone who got the company's logo tattooed. However, only 2 days after launching the promotion, they began receiving photos from hundreds of brand fans who had completed the challenge. Because of this, Domino's Pizza added more rules. They would only accept the first 350 people. They also specified the size of the tattoo and the parts of the body where it was allowed.
The Sea Organ of Zadar, designed by Nikola Basic and inaugurated in 2005, is an architectural installation in Zadar, Croatia. It produces musical sounds when sea waves pass through tubes beneath a marble staircase. It is a popular tourist attraction and has been internationally recognized for its originality.
Penguins have long necks, but this is not obvious due to the thick layers of fat and feathers that cover their bodies. These features help keep them warm in cold climates, giving the impression that they do not have a visible neck. The Volkswagen Beetle was the first car to drive across Antarctica in 1963. This vehicle, nicknamed the Red Terror because of its bright red color against the snow, was donated by Volkswagen Germany to a scientific base to demonstrate its ability to withstand extreme climates. The Beetle endured temperatures as low as minus 58 degrees Fahrenheit and winds of more than about 93 miles per hour.
This is how contact lenses are made. These are the white mold used for clear lenses, and tinted ones for colored lenses. A machine injects hydrogel into the mold and presses it so the plastic takes on its characteristic shape. When the plastic dries, the lenses are removed from the mold and carefully inspected. Once they pass quality control, they are hydrated and packaged for individual sale.
This is how waste is removed from an airplane. When the aircraft lands, the waste is extracted using a hose system connected to a truck's holding tank. On average, close to 106 gallons of waste are removed from a flight carrying 200 passengers.
Light takes approximately 8 minutes and 20 seconds to travel from the Sun to the Earth. Although the distance between the Earth and the Sun varies slightly throughout the year due to the Earth's elliptical orbit, sunlight takes about 8 minutes and 20 seconds to reach us at the speed of light. In the village of Baunay, France, curved and intersecting lines were painted on the asphalt as a measure to reduce driver speed. This strategy aims to visually confuse drivers and make them slow down unconsciously. The measure has been effective and is an example of how simple interventions can improve road safety.
In the 16th and 17th centuries lived Claude Mellon, a French painter and engraver who used a special technique called single-line engraving. From this technique came his masterpiece, The Face of Christ, created in 1649. Mellon produced it using a single continuous line that begins at the tip of Christ's nose. To this day, no one has managed to perfectly replicate his method.
The animatronic suits used in the first live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie were an impressive achievement in special effects technology and design for their time. These suits, created by Jim Henson's Creature Shop, allowed for a wide range of facial expressions and movements because the turtles' mouths, eyes, and heads were motorized. Everything seen in the movie is made with practical effects, with no computer-generated imagery of any kind. The actors inside the suits had to coordinate closely with the animatronic operators to synchronize movements and expressions, which required great skill and teamwork. The Cumaragua salt flats in Falcón, Venezuela, are known for their pink and turquoise-toned waters, especially at sunset. This coloration is due to the presence of tannin, a substance that comes from certain trees, and mixes with the salty waters. In addition, it is a popular place for sports, such as kite surfing and windsurfing, due to its shallow waters and constant winds.
This is Busted Bingo, a game in which the participants are criminals, and the prize is going to jail. The idea came from the Sheriff's Office of Sullivan County in Tennessee. In this game, each criminal is assigned a randomly chosen number, and the winner receives an all-inclusive stay in a county jail cell. This drawing was broadcast publicly with the intention of allowing people to get involved in the game and contact the police if they found the criminal.
In Colombia, there is a population of hippopotamuses that descends from those that were part of Pablo Escobar's personal zoo at Hacienda Nápoles. After Escobar's death,
These hippopotamuses were released and have proliferated in the Magdalena Medio region, becoming an invasive species that threatens local biodiversity. Watch one of the emergency drills carried out by Japanese zoos to be prepared in case an animal escapes. They are people inside costumes. It seems like a joke, but it is completely real. The car brand Opel hides sharks inside its vehicles. Here you can see some of them. This tradition began when the young son of designer Dietmar Finger suggested to his father that he place sharks in the cars. Apparently it worked. Parahawking is a variation of paragliding that is practiced in the company of a trained bird of prey. The birds are trained to guide the pilot toward rising air currents. This allows the pilot to gain altitude and fly long distances with little effort. Every year in different parts of the world, the rubber duck derby takes place. People pay a certain amount of money for a numbered duck. A boat pushes the ducks with a hose through a channel, and the first one to arrive wins. If your duck is the winner, you receive a prize such as a car or cash. The proceeds are donated to charitable organizations. Have you ever wondered what causes the sound of the sea inside seashells? In reality, what we hear is the surrounding noise resonating inside them due to their hollow shape. In fact, the same thing would happen with an empty glass. Try it. What you will hear is the way air flows inside it. They are not sounds that are always there, but we cannot hear them without the help of a resonating object. Puffins are seabirds known for their colorful beaks and picturesque appearance. They are monogamous and maintain a single partner for life. Once they reach maturity, generally around 4 or 5 years of age, they begin to seek a mate with whom they will form a lifelong bond. This reconstruction of the face of a young Neanderthal was created from his bones. He lived in Europe about 60,000 years ago. Designed during the Second World War by the United Kingdom, the Well bike is considered the smallest folding motorcycle ever created. Weighing around 70 pounds, it was designed to be dropped by parachute alongside British airborne forces. Its folding structure allowed it to be transported in aircraft and quickly deployed on the battlefield. Although only about 3,850 units were produced, the Well bike proved to be a tactical innovation by providing mobility to troops behind enemy lines. The atmosphere of Mars is approximately 100 times thinner than that of Earth, which causes heat from the sun to escape quickly. This results in large temperature fluctuations between day and night. At midday on Mars, you could experience warmth on your feet, around 75 degrees Fahrenheit, and cold on your head, around 32 degrees Fahrenheit, due to the low density of the Martian atmosphere. The stomach is one of the most elastic organs and can expand significantly. When it is empty, it has a volume of approximately 3 fluid ounces, but it can stretch to reach a volume of a little over 1 gallon when it is full of food. If an amount greater than this is consumed, the person may end up vomiting. This man found a bird preserved in ice. It was in perfect condition and even had its eyes open. This rare event was possible thanks to several factors. Most likely, the bird dove headfirst into icy water to hunt a fish. If you have ever seen a video where the water in a bottle freezes when it is given a small impact, that is exactly what happened here. The lake water was probably below the freezing point when the bird came into contact with it, triggering the freezing process and encapsulating it inside a solid layer of ice. eBay was founded in 1995 by Pierre Omidyar as an auction website. The first item ever sold on the platform was a broken laser pointer. Omidyar did not expect anyone to be interested in buying it, but the item sold for $14.83. This marked the beginning of what would become a giant in electronic commerce. In addition, eBay started as a site dedicated to collectors, but quickly expanded to include almost any type of product, becoming one of the first online auction platforms. Roman Butin is a Russian artist who specializes in carving hobo nickels, an English term used to describe modified or trick coins. Butin creates coins, buttons, and trick lighters with enormous technical complexity, given their small size. The natural rock bridge known as Burda Arch is an impressive natural rock arch located in the Wadi Rum Desert in Jordan. With a height of more than about 262 feet, it is one of the tallest natural arches in the world and a popular challenge for climbers. Elvis Presley, known as the King of Rock and Roll, was born with blonde hair. However, at 22 years old in 1957, he decided to dye it black to project a tougher and more attractive image. This change in appearance was strategic and contributed to his iconic figure, helping him capture the attention of a wider audience. Ants do not have lungs like other animals. Instead, they obtain oxygen through small openings in their bodies called spiracles, which are connected to a system of tubes called the tracheal system that distributes oxygen to all the cells of the body. Paper Paul, an artist known for his pop-up cards, has created a collection based on popular internet memes. However, due to copyright restrictions, these cards are not available for sale. This project is part of his artistic initiative called Pop-Up Book of Memes. Kiefer is a Maine Coon cat, known for being one of the largest cats in the world. He was adopted by a Russian woman when he was a kitten and has grown more than expected. At only 2 years old, Kiefer weighs more than 26 pounds and measures almost 5 feet. The sport of hashing originated in Malaysia in 1938, when Gisbert convinced his friends in a bar to run while drinking beer. Today, it is practiced in groups of 10 people, with 2 runners going ahead, leaving trails of flour that the rest must follow. The winning team is the first to arrive back at the bar they started from, with a minimum level of alcohol in their blood. The name Crayola comes from the combination of the French word crayer, which means chalk, and ola, which refers to oily or oleaginous. This name was created by Alice Binney, the wife of one of Crayola's founders. It reflects the original characteristics of crayons, which were oily and similar to chalk. Crop circles are complex patterns that appear in crop fields and whose origin remains a mystery. Although some have been attributed to pranksters, others remain unexplained, which has fueled theories about paranormal phenomena or extraterrestrial activity. These patterns have been reported in different parts of the world, mainly in the United Kingdom since the 1970s. Penguins often push one of their companions into the sea just to check whether the area is safe and free of predators. This behavior is particularly observed in species such as the emperor penguin and the Adelie penguin. These acts of pushing a fellow penguin serve as a kind of safety test before the entire group jumps into the water. The most distant human-made object from Earth is the Voyager 1 probe. Launched in 1977, it has traveled beyond the solar system and is currently more than about 15 billion miles away from us. Voyager 1 carries a golden record with messages from Earth, like a bottle in space, sending an interstellar greeting as a solitary explorer in the vast cosmos. Meet John Shen, a dog who waited for his owner at a train station in China. He is a 15-year-old canine whose owner leaves for work very early and returns by train about 12 hours later. He sits at the station and waits until he arrives, and every time he sees him, he greets him very warmly. This dog became famous due to a video posted on social media in which people were deeply moved by his story. The art installation called Real Time at the Amsterdam airport was created by Dutch artist Martin Bos. The installation shows a looping video of Bos drawing and erasing each minute of the clock over a period of 12 hours. It was originally created for Milan Design Week in 2009 and was later installed at the Amsterdam airport in 2017.
Jamie Keaton, known as Canhead, has a strange condition that causes objects to stick to his skin. He discovered this phenomenon at 7 years old, and doctors found that his skin absorbs 23% more oxygen than that of an average person. Although the exact cause is unknown, this peculiarity makes him unique in the world, with only 3 similar cases documented.
This fish is a climbing gourami, also known as a climbing perch. It has the ability to walk and breathe outside of water. It possesses a special organ known as the labyrinth organ, which allows it to take oxygen directly from the air instead of from water. It is estimated that it can spend up to 6 days out of the water. In addition to being extremely intelligent, crows are very curious and playful. They are among the few animals that play. Watch how they use a car windshield as a slide or a wooden stick to surf through the air. The arc lamp invented by Sir Humphrey Davy in 1802 was the first known object to use electricity to generate light. This lamp created light by establishing an electric arc between 2 carbon electrodes, producing an intense white light. Although it was not practical for everyday use, it marked the beginning of the use of electricity for lighting. The dish considered the most delicious varies by culture, but sushi often stands out for its sophistication and freshness. In contrast, surströmming, a fermented herring from Sweden, is famous for its strong smell and acquired taste, making it one of the least appetizing foods for many people. McLaren was founded in 1963 by Formula One driver Bruce McLaren in England. McLaren is not only famous for its race cars, but has also stood out in the production of luxury sports cars. The brand won its first Formula One race in January of 1968 and has become one of the most successful teams in the history of motorsport. In 1992, McLaren launched the McLaren F1, which was considered the first modern supercar and featured an innovative design with a V12 engine and a carbon fiber body. This model set speed records and remains an icon among car enthusiasts. In 1928, British scientist Alexander Fleming accidentally discovered penicillin, the first antibiotic. This discovery revolutionized modern medicine and has saved countless lives by effectively treating bacterial infections. A galactic year, also known as a cosmic year, is the time it takes the Milky Way to complete one rotation around its center. This period lasts approximately 200 million Earth years. In the classic game Pac-Man, the ghosts Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde turn blue and become edible when Pac-Man consumes a power pellet. However, starting at level 18, the ghosts no longer change color and remain in their normal form. This makes the game more challenging, as Pac-Man must constantly avoid the ghosts. These are some curious sculptures in the Czech Republic called Čertovi hlavy, or devil's heads in English. Each one measures approximately 30 feet in height, which is why they are considered the second largest carved heads in the world after those of Mount Rushmore in the United States. They were carved in sandstone by the Czech artist Václav Levý between 1841 and 1846. African elephants have proven to be much more difficult to domesticate than Asian elephants. Although there are cases of African elephants being trained in reserves and parks, they have not been domesticated or used in the same way as Asian elephants for agricultural work and transportation. Vincent van Gogh sold only one painting during his lifetime, The Red Vineyard. This work was purchased in 1890 by the Belgian artist Anna Bach during an exhibition in Brussels. Although Van Gogh created around 900 paintings in his life, this was the only one that was officially sold while he was still alive. Today, Van Gogh's works sell for millions of dollars at auctions due to their great artistic value and his posthumous fame. Dutch police have been training eagles to intercept and take down drones that fly illegally in restricted areas. This pilot project is carried out in collaboration with the company Guards from Above and has proven to be an effective and safe solution to address the problem of unauthorized drones. Jack Fisher, a former NASA astronaut, showed in a video from the International Space Station how to eat pudding in space. Although there's no risk of it falling, you still have to be skillful to catch it. Bugatti was founded in 1909 by the Italian designer Ettore Bugatti in Molsheim, France. The brand is famous for its luxury vehicles and extreme performance, but also for its focus on artistic automobile design. One of its most iconic models, the Bugatti Type 35, is considered one of the most successful racing cars of all time, winning more than 1,000 races during the 1920s. In addition, in the modern era, the Bugatti Veyron, launched in 2005, was one of the fastest cars in the world and combined advanced technology with stunning design, solidifying Bugatti's reputation as a leader in the world of supercars. Leafcutter ants are true farmers. They do not eat the leaves they cut, but instead use them to cultivate fungi in their nests. These fungi are their primary source of food. Meet the monowheel, a large vehicle that places the rider inside the wheel, along with handlebars, a seat, and in modern versions, a motor. It emerged as a curiosity in past times and served a purpose in its era. Although it was popular at the time, it fell out of use with the arrival of the automobile. Iceland has such a low crime rate that parents sometimes leave their babies alone in their strollers on the street while they run other errands. Circus Roncalli, a German circus, has replaced live animals with three-dimensional holograms. This innovative approach allows performances to be offered without cruelty to animals, using holographic projections that create a unique and magical experience for the audience. The Magic Fort is an inflatable tent developed by the startup Decathlon. This hybrid tent can function both as a camper and a garage, creating a glamping space with the automobile housed inside and turning it into the cozy second floor of a large campsite. Campers can enjoy several individual rooms for changing clothes, entertainment, and relaxing in nature. Nikola Tesla used to feed pigeons. In addition, if he found injured pigeons, he took them to his room so they could recover. He even once spent more than $2,000 to repair the wing and broken leg of one of them. Adult owls usually sleep standing up, but chicks sleep lying on their stomachs with their heads resting to the side because their heads are too heavy for their bodies. This video shows how G-force can temporarily distort a person's face. It goes from looking 20 years old to 70 in a matter of seconds due to the facial distortion caused by high acceleration. If the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs had impacted 30 seconds later, it would have fallen into the ocean. This would have significantly reduced the force of the impact, and had that been the case, not all dinosaurs would have gone extinct and humans would never have existed. Although the existence of King Arthur is a subject of debate, his legend has endured through the centuries. He is said to have been a British leader who defended his land from Saxon invaders, and whose court at Camelot was a model of chivalry and justice.
We yawn when we are tired, but also when we wake up after resting all night. We do it when we are bored, anxious, hungry, or nervous about trying something new. But the curious thing is that yawning is contagious, whether we see someone near us yawn, see it in a photo, or even watch an animal yawning. However, according to experts, the physiological reason why we yawn remains a mystery.
The flying dragon, scientifically known as Dracovolans, is a lizard that can extend skin flaps attached to its movable ribs to form wings. These wings allow it to glide from one tree to another, although it cannot sustain flight. Its length ranges between 7.5 and 9.1 inches, and its diet is based mainly on arboreal ants and termites.
HP was founded in 1939 by Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard in a garage in Palo Alto, California, which is often considered the garage of Silicon Valley. The company's first product was an audio oscillator that was sold to Walt Disney for use in the film Fantasia. This garage has become a symbol of the entrepreneurial spirit in technology. HP was one of the first companies to develop the concept of collaborative work, promoting a work environment in which employees could share ideas and projects.
The disappearance of all animals would have devastating effects on ecosystems. The food chain would collapse, affecting pollination and seed dispersal. This would lead to the extinction of many plants and soil degradation. Without animals, the nutrient cycle would be disrupted, negatively impacting biodiversity and the climate. The natural balance of the Earth would be severely affected, resulting in drastic changes to ecosystems and the global climate.
Oymyakon in Siberia is the coldest inhabited place in the world, with temperatures that have reached -90.9 degrees Fahrenheit. This small village has days of only 3 hours during the winter and faces extreme conditions where cars must remain running to prevent them from freezing. The inhabitants feed mainly on meat, since farming is impossible. Despite these conditions, about 500 people live adapted to this extreme climate. Hummingbird feathers are extremely small, with some measuring only a few millimeters in length. The smallest hummingbird, the bee hummingbird, has feathers that are almost the size of a penny. The gondolas of Venice are traditional rowing boats used to transport passengers along the city's many canals. By law, they must be painted black, except for those belonging to high-ranking officials.
Some airlines have equipped their airplanes with cameras that allow passengers to see takeoff and landing from their seats. These cameras are located in different parts of the aircraft, such as the landing gear and the tail, and transmit real-time images to the seatback screens.
During the Yom Kippur holiday in Israel, a nationwide transportation shutdown takes place for one day. This day, considered the holiest in the Jewish calendar, is observed with a shutdown lasting 25 hours. During this time, public transportation stops and the roads are left almost deserted. It is a tradition that many people take advantage of to go for walks or ride bicycles with their families. Artificial intelligence has learned to pray. This is the Prayer, a robot that creates texts and religious prayers from nothing. The project was created to show the world how advanced this technology is, and has generated a debate about the role of artificial intelligence in spirituality and human creativity.
Pseudoscorpions are tiny arachnids that measure between 0.08 and 0.31 inches and resemble scorpions but lack a venomous stinger. They are harmless to humans and feed on pests such as ants, mites, and larvae. For this reason, they are useful allies in keeping homes free of unwanted insects. Due to their small size and ability to hide, it is rare to see them. The Honda Super Cub is the best-selling motorcycle in the history of motorcycling. Since its debut in 1958, more than 100 million units have been sold worldwide.
Hummingbirds have an extremely high metabolic rate due to their rapid metabolism and active flight. This is reflected in their heart rate, which can become incredibly fast, reaching up to 1,200 beats per minute during flight.
There is a method for making completely clear ice. Ice is usually cloudy because when water freezes, impurities such as dissolved minerals and gases move inward during the crystallization process. If you want to make perfectly transparent ice cubes, you need to boil the water before freezing it in order to remove all impurities. This is how you achieve these incredible results.
Japanese scientists have developed a prototype robot called Dragon Firefighter. This robot, inspired by flying dragons, uses a hose approximately 13.1 feet long that is propelled by water jets. The goal is to help firefighters extinguish fires from a distance, keeping them safe. According to legend, when the Spanish conquistadors captured the Inca Emperor Atahualpa, they offered to free him in exchange for filling a room up to the ceiling with gold. Although the Incas gathered a large amount of gold, Atahualpa was executed before the ransom was completed. It is said that part of this gold was hidden somewhere in the Andes and has never been found. The human skeleton regenerates every 10 years. This is a process that takes place throughout life and slows down with age. In our bodies, there are 35 million basic multicellular units, and each year between 3 and 4 million are activated. For this reason, the bone structure is completely renewed within a decade. On one hand, the deteriorated parts of our skeleton are broken down, and on the other, new tissue is created. The lunar rover, the first electric vehicle sent to space, was first used during the Apollo 15 mission in 1971. The rover's parts were transported in the lunar module and assembled by the astronauts on the moon. Designed to operate in low-gravity conditions and withstand extreme temperatures of up to -238 degrees Fahrenheit, the rover reached a maximum speed of approximately 11 miles per hour on the lunar surface. Parmesan cheese, known as the king of cheeses, is produced exclusively in the Italian provinces of Parma, Reggio Emilia, Modena, and parts of Bologna and Mantua. This hard, granular cheese is made from unpasteurized cow's milk and is aged for a minimum of 12 months. Its intense and complex flavor makes it a key ingredient in Italian cuisine, especially when grated over pasta and risottos. The first minted coin in the world dates back to the 6th century before Christ in Lydia, a region of what is now Turkey. These coins were made from a mixture of gold and silver called electrum. The Lydians began stamping images onto the coins to guarantee their value, thus creating the foundation of money as we know it today. In 2017, several time-lapse videos were released showing how thousands of Japanese people moved in an organized manner to attend the Summer Comiket, one of the most important comic fairs in Japan. It is truly impressive to see how the lines of people move so orderly despite the huge number of attendees. Snorlax, the Pokémon, was depicted in reclining or lying down positions in games and series up to Generation 6 when it was finally shown standing. The stone figures of Marcahuasi and the Peruvian Andes are natural rock formations that appear to represent human and animal figures. Although some suggest they were carved by ancient civilizations or have extraterrestrial origins, most experts believe they are the result of natural erosion. Meet the long-nosed shrew opossum, one of the most mysterious animals in the world. This peculiar marsupial lives exclusively in the temperate forests of Chile and Argentina at elevations of approximately 3,280 feet above sea level. It is believed to lead a terrestrial and nocturnal life, feeding mainly on insects, although it can also consume seeds and fungi. Curiously, despite belonging to the group of marsupials, the female long-nosed shrew opossum does not have a pouch. Since the 1970s, the species has been studied, but there is still much to discover about it. The smallest international bridge in the world is the El Marco International Bridge, which connects Spain and Portugal. This bridge has a length of only 10.5 feet and is located over the Abriloco stream on the border between the two countries. The M&M's mascot has evolved significantly since its debut in 1954. The original characters, red and yellow, have been joined over the years by other characters such as blue, green, orange, and brown. In 2017, the mascots received a redesign to give them more realistic representation and accessories. In 2015, scientists at the University of Rochester in the United States developed a super hydrophobic metal surface using a high-powered laser process. This surface repels water extremely, causing droplets to bounce as if they were rubber balls. What you see now is known as the Las Vegas Convention Center Loop, a tunnel project in which Tesla cars travel at low speed. The vehicles move at about 35 miles per hour. Its construction costs $48.7 million. It measures about 1.7 miles in length. It is located about 39 feet underground, and it has 5 stops. Its goal is to reduce traffic congestion in the city. In addition, passengers can get into the car and enjoy a smooth ride beneath the city through narrow tunnels illuminated with LED lights and a complete 5G infrastructure that allows the vehicle to remain constantly connected. If humanity were to disappear, the Earth would slowly regenerate. Cities and structures would crumble and vegetation would reclaim urban spaces. Ecosystems would rebalance as animal species adapted without human intervention. Pollution would decrease and nature would recover its course. In thousands of years, the planet could return to a state similar to what it was like before humanity.
Japan's hot and bloody pond is one of the most fascinating places that exist. It is located on the island of Beppu, and its striking red coloration is due to the high concentration of iron oxide in its waters. In addition, the temperature of these waters is quite high and ranges from about 122 to nearly 194 degrees Fahrenheit. Because of this characteristic, it is forbidden to submerge even a foot in this small pond.
Although Mount Kilimanjaro is known for being the highest mountain in Africa and for its snow-capped peak, it is actually an inactive volcano made up of 3 volcanic cones: Kibo, Mawenzi, and Shira.
Have you ever wondered why some sweaters or hoodies have that triangle on the collar? Originally, its function was to absorb sweat around the chest after exercise, preventing sweat from deforming or stretching the neckline. With a facade covered by approximately 104,870 square feet of mirrors, Moriah is the largest mirrored building in the world. This recognition was awarded by the Guinness Book of Records in January of 2020, and even today, years later, it continues to hold this title. In 1984, at the age of 12, Elon Musk wrote and sold the code for his first game, Blastar, to the South African magazine PC and Office Technology for $500. This was his first programming project and one of his earliest experiences in the world of video games. Most school buses are yellow because this color is highly visible in low light conditions and is easily perceived even by people with vision problems. The color yellow was officially adopted for school buses in the United States in 1939. Stenocara gracilipes is a species of beetle native to the Namib Desert in southern Africa. It is famous for its ability to collect water in an extremely arid environment. It has a series of bumps on its shell that condense fog from the air. The water droplets are then channeled towards its mouth, allowing it to survive in one of the driest deserts in the world. Mamenchisaurus cynocanidorum, a sauropod dinosaur from the late Jurassic, is known for having the longest neck ever recorded in history. Its neck could measure up to 49.2 feet, which is equivalent to 6 times the length of a giraffe's neck. Its enormous neck is a fascinating example of sauropod evolution, as these dinosaurs developed such features to feed on taller vegetation. Until 2006, McDonald's McFlurry ice cream lids had a design that caused hedgehogs to get trapped and die. Thanks to a campaign by the Hedgehog Preservation Society in the United Kingdom, McDonald's redesigned its cups to make the opening smaller, preventing hedgehogs from getting stuck. This change has been a major victory for the conservation of these small, spiny animals.
This jewelry created by Polish designer Ewa Nowak consists of a kind of metal mask with 3 figures that fit the face and to secure to the head using a wire on the sides, similar to how eyeglasses are worn. The secret to how it works lies in the reflective material that tricks facial recognition software. Novak has tested the piece using Facebook's Deep Face algorithm and has shown that it can block facial recognition. The Strati is recognized as the world's first car printed in 3 dimensions. The printing process took 44 hours during the International Manufacturing Technology Exhibition of 2014 in Chicago. After printing, 49 additional parts were assembled over a period of 4 days during the event. The Strati can reach a top speed of about 37 miles per hour and is made mainly of carbon-reinforced plastic. Most of its components are 3-dimensional prints, except for the battery, the motor, the wiring, the suspension, and the wheels. The world's first robotic exoskeleton for children was developed by Spanish engineer Elena Garcia. This exoskeleton was nominated for the European Inventor Award in 2022. It consists of a titanium suit that fits the patient's body and is connected to a battery that powers a network of small motors with sensors. These components function as mechanical joints that adjust to the bone structure and detect subtle movements, while also cushioning sudden impacts. In the original Superman comic published in 1938, the character could not fly and could only leap over very tall buildings. It was not until the 1940s that the animators of the Superman animated series decided it would be more impressive and convenient for the story if he could fly. This ability became an iconic characteristic of the character from then on. Having only 1 guinea pig is illegal in Switzerland. In 2008, this new reform was included in the country's animal rights law.
These small animals are very anxious creatures that normally live in groups and need a companion in order to live calmly. Leaving a guinea pig without a friend is considered torture and a crime, for which people must face Swiss law. The Kailasa Temple, located in the western region of Maharashtra, India, is an impressive example of rock-cut architecture. It was carved entirely from a single rock without any type of joint. Its construction began between the years 756 and 773, during the reign of Krishna I of the Rashtrakuta Empire. Nearly about 220,000 short tons of stone were excavated to create this temple, and its construction took centuries to complete. In 2018, cosmonaut Oleg Artemyev recorded a video of the moon setting below Earth's horizon from the International Space Station. Due to atmospheric refraction, the moon appears to disappear before reaching the edge of the horizon. This phenomenon is caused by the way Earth's atmosphere bends light. This is a small flower preserved in amber for more than 100 years, found in western Burma. The flower belongs to the angiosperms, a group of plants that evolved and diversified about 100 million years ago. You are looking at the largest navigable bridge in the world. It has a length of approximately 3,011 feet and a width of about 112 feet, along with 2 pedestrian walkways. It is located in Magdeburg, Germany, and connects the Elbe-Havel Canal with the Midland Canal. To support the weight of the water and the boats that cross it, at least 52,910,000 pounds of steel and more than 2,401,000 cubic feet of concrete were used. The International Space Station has access to the internet, although not in the same way as on Earth. It uses a satellite connection that provides limited access to the web and is mainly used for communications and the transfer of scientific data. Due to limited transmission speed and the priority of scientific communications, access is restricted and controlled. Gonzalo Guerrero, a Spanish castaway who arrived on the Yucatan Peninsula in 1511, was captured by the Maya. However, over time, he gained their trust and was released. He married the daughter of Nachan Khan, the leader of Chactemal, and adopted Maya culture, fighting against the Spanish conquistadors. Guerrero is seen as the first European to fully integrate into Maya culture. This is one of the most astonishing soccer stadiums in the world. It is located in Norway and was built on the island of Lofoten. It is called Henningsvær and has incredible views of the mountains, the open sea, and several sheltered bays. However, it does not have conventional stands, but instead about 6.6 feet of port asphalt around the field, which is enough for local kids to train. It is worth noting that the village has a population of only about 500 people. The world's first driverless autonomous truck traveled on a public road to deliver goods. This achievement took place on a public road in Sweden, where for the first time, an autonomous truck without a driver's cab was authorized to operate to deliver cargo. The T-Pod is smaller than a normal freight truck, but its design eliminates the cab, allowing for more cargo space within a compact size. Pepsi was created in 1893 by pharmacist Caleb Bradham and was originally called Brad's Drink. Bradham sold the beverage in his pharmacy, and the initial formula was intended to aid digestion and provide energy. That is why it included ingredients such as pepsin, a digestive enzyme, and cola nut, from which the name Pepsi-Cola is derived. Interestingly, during the Great Depression in 1931, Pepsi went bankrupt and was put up for sale. Coca-Cola had the opportunity to buy it, but rejected the offer. Today, Pepsi is one of the largest beverage brands in the world and competes directly with Coca-Cola in the global market. Meet the Visayan warty pig, also known as the Visayan wild boar. It lives in grasslands, savannas, and forests of the Visayan Islands in the Philippines. It is named for its facial warts, which can grow to almost 6 inches. It has a mane that ranges from black to brown and runs down the spine to the middle of the back. Because its fur is sparse and it lacks subcutaneous fat, the boar is susceptible to extreme environmental temperatures, so it must cool off with mud baths in hot weather and cover itself as much as possible in cold conditions. Starbucks was founded in 1971 in Seattle as a store selling coffee beans and equipment. It was not until Howard Schultz joined in 1982 that the company began to shift its focus toward coffee houses. After a trip to Italy, Schultz was inspired by cafe culture and decided to introduce the espresso experience to the United States. In 1996, Starbucks opened its first store in Chicago, and since then it has grown to become the largest coffeehouse chain in the world, with more than 30,000 locations in over 80 countries. In addition, the iconic siren logo is based on a two-tailed figure from Greek mythology. In Taos, New Mexico, some residents and visitors have reported hearing a low, faint hum that cannot be attributed to any identifiable source. This phenomenon, known as the Taos hum, is one of several similar reports around the world and remains a mystery to scientists and researchers. Roquefort cheese, one of the most famous blue cheeses in the world, owes its distinctive flavor to a fungus called Penicillium roqueforti found in the caves of Roquefort-sur-Soulzon, France. This cheese has a protected designation of origin, which means it can only be produced in this specific region. Its strong flavor and creamy texture make it a favorite on cheese boards and in gourmet recipes.
This man named Johann Hybers decided that one Noah's Ark was not enough, so he set out to build two. He began the first one in 1993, and it took him 13 years to complete. Johann attempted to make an exact replica, but it ended up being only half the real size. Then, in 2015, he decided to start from scratch and build an exact copy of the original Ark with the correct dimensions. Approximately 390 feet long, about 75 feet high, and close to 98 feet wide. He built it from pine wood, and it cost him around $1,600,000.
Heineken was founded in 1864 by Gerard Adriaan Heineken in the Netherlands, but its global success is due to his grandson, Freddie Heineken, who expanded the brand internationally. Freddie believed in the power of design, which is why the letter E in the logo tilts upward to convey a friendlier image. He was also a pioneer in global marketing campaigns, highlighting the green color and the red star, iconic elements that represent the brand worldwide.
Nymphister cronaueri is a small beetle that uses ants as a means of transportation. These beetles cling with their mandibles to worker ants, especially those of the species Eciton mexicanum, in order to move and search for new nesting sites. This behavior, known as foracy, allows them to save energy during their journeys.
Alex Roca Campillo is the first person in the world with a physical disability of 76% to complete a marathon. He achieved this feat at the Barcelona Marathon in 2023. The pencil skirt designed by Christian Dior in 1954 became a symbol of elegance and femininity in women's fashion. This garment, fitted at the hips and narrow at the legs, highlights the female figure and has remained a wardrobe staple since its creation. The pencil skirt is versatile, suitable for both formal occasions and office wear, and continues to be popular in contemporary fashion.
Meet Alex, considered the most intelligent parrot in history. He had a vocabulary of 150 words taught by American psychologist Irene Pepperberg, which allowed him to identify objects, numbers, colors, and shapes. Part of the scientific community believes that there were actually no true achievements in the research, and that the bird was simply imitating words to obtain rewards without recognizing their meanings. However, it was confirmed that Alex could reason at a basic level. Sadly, he died in 2007 at 31 years of age.
This is the clown loach, or Chromobotia macrocanthus. It may seem harmless, but do not be fooled by its appearance, as it can injure with its eyes. Behind them is a sharp spine that it can extend when it feels threatened, using it to defend itself from other fish. This small river animal native to Asia grows to about 12 inches in length and can live up to 50 years.
The first widely recognized video game was Pong, created by Nolan Bushnell and released by Atari in 1972. Pong simulated a table tennis game and was one of the first commercially successful arcade video games. Its simplicity and addictive nature laid the foundation for the growth and popularization of the video game industry.
Mark Court, a British artist, has been solely responsible for painting the pinstripes on Rolls-Royce automobiles since 2003. He works at the Goodwood plant in England and performs his work entirely by hand without the help of machines. In addition, customers can request personalized and more complex designs, such as flowers, horse heads, and initials. This artist created this incredible sculpture of Spider-Man portrayed by Tobey Maguire in 2002, a true work of art. In the theater of ancient Greece, masks were essential for performances, as they helped actors portray multiple characters and project their voices in open amphitheaters. These masks, made of linen or wood, also expressed exaggerated emotions so they could be seen from far away. This theatrical resource made it possible to tell complex stories and mark the beginning of dramatic art in Western culture.
Broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts all come from the same species, Brassica oleracea. Through centuries of selective cultivation, farmers emphasized different characteristics of the plant. For example, broccoli highlights the immature flowers, while cabbage focuses on compact leaves. This astonishing diversity demonstrates how agriculture can shape a single species into multiple staple foods that are rich in nutrients.
In Prague, there's one of the oldest clocks in the world. It is the Prague astronomical clock, and it is not an ordinary clock. It was installed in 1410, more than 600 years ago. It is the only astronomical clock from its era that still works. In addition to telling the time, it shows the position of the sun and the moon in the sky, and even features a small show with moving figures every hour. This is the Reed Flute Cave, also known as the Palace of Natural Arts. Located in China, it is an impressive tourist attraction and a gallery of natural sculptures. Inside the cave, the rock formations have strange and wonderful shapes that amaze visitors. Outside grows a type of reed used to make flutes, hence the name of the cave. Today, the cave is artificially illuminated with colored lights, making it look incredible. The sari, a traditional Indian garment, is one of the oldest forms of clothing in the world, with more than 5,000 years of history. This long piece of fabric, which can measure between 13 and 29.5 feet, is wrapped around the body in different ways depending on the region and personal style. The sari remains a symbol of Indian cultural identity and is worn on both everyday and ceremonial occasions. Throughout our lives, our nose is always within our field of vision, but thanks to visual suppression, the brain ignores this information. This process allows the brain to filter out unnecessary information and focus on the surrounding environment. Visual suppression is essential for a coherent perception of the world, preventing our vision from being obstructed by the constant presence of our own nose. Raccoons are famous for their ability to manipulate objects with their front paws, which are incredibly similar to human hands. This behavior makes it seem as though raccoons are washing their food, although they are not. This dexterity allows them to open containers, search for food in hard-to-reach places, and even solve complex problems. Their intelligence and adaptability have allowed them to thrive in urban environments where they interact with humans. What you see on screen is the Toyota e-broom, an electric broom like Harry Potter's that is used for writing. The popular brand Toyota presented this impressive electric vehicle at the Tokyo Motor Show in 2019. The creation is inspired by the Nimbus 2001 from Harry Potter. It works thanks to the broom, which serves as a motor that powers the wheels of the board so it can move. This fun vehicle can reach a speed of approximately 19 miles per hour. The Daisen Kofun is an ancient keyhole-shaped tomb located in Osaka, Japan. Built between the 5th and 6th centuries, this massive burial mound is one of the largest of its kind in Japan, measuring approximately 1,594 feet in length. To this day, the mystery surrounding this structure persists, as it is still unknown who lies within it. Given its dimensions and grandeur, it is evident that this figure must have been extremely important in the history of Japan.
Airplanes have red and green lights on the tips of their wings to indicate their relative position and direction, helping other pilots see them. The red light is on the left, and the green light is on the right. They are turned on from the moment the pilot enters the cockpit until leaving it after landing. They are used both day and night and in low visibility conditions. In addition, in the event of a possible collision, each aircraft must turn toward the green light to quickly move away. Donald Trump, known for his successful business career before entering politics, became the President of the United States with one of the highest net worths upon taking office. According to Forbes, his net worth was $3,100 million in January of 2017.
Coming out with red eyes in photos is something everyone wants to avoid. However, if your pupils appear white in an image, this could be a sign of serious diseases such as cataracts, retinal disorders, or even eye cancer. Therefore, beyond aesthetic concerns, photos can play an important role in the early detection of eye problems. This is the Argus 2, a bionic eye that allows a blind person to see a small part of their surroundings. Specialists place an electronic implant in the patient's retina. Then, the small camera in the glasses worn by the user captures what is in front of them. A portable device connected to the glasses processes the image and sends the information to the implant, which helps the brain interpret the image. The result is black and white vision without detail. The Quad Stick is a video game controller designed for people without limbs. It is compatible with all consoles and computers. This device includes a joystick, 4 pressure sensors, and a lip position sensor. It allows users to control video games through mouth movements.
The Cuyahoga River Fire in Cleveland, Ohio occurred on June 22, 1969, due to the high level of pollution on its surface. This event was an important catalyst for the environmental movement in the United States and led to the creation of the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, in December of 1970.
A company in Singapore called Out of the Box launched 2 beverage lines called Anything and Whatever. Each can could have a different flavor, and the real mystery was that you did not know which one you would get until you tried it. Dolphins do not drink seawater because their bodies cannot process the high concentration of salt. Instead, they obtain the necessary hydration from the food they consume, mainly fish and squid. These animals have specialized kidneys that allow them to excrete excess salt, maintaining water balance without needing to drink ocean water directly. There are titanium rings with hidden blades designed for practical tasks or personal defense. These rings are made from durable materials such as titanium and feature small but efficient blades that can be used to cut paper or labels. This is how all pizza restaurant menus should be. Each page shows what the pizza will look like, which makes the decision much easier. The story of the Philadelphia experiment is an urban legend that emerged in the 1950s. According to this legend, in 1943, the United States Navy carried out a secret experiment on the USS Eldridge to make it invisible, but there is no scientific evidence to support this story. Despite the lack of proof, it has inspired numerous conspiracy theories and works of fiction. In Jaipur, India, the Jantar Mantar is a collection of astronomical instruments built in the 18th century, including the Samrat Yantra, the largest sundial in the world. With a height of approximately 89 feet, this impressive instrument can measure time with an accuracy of 2 seconds, demonstrating the advanced astronomical knowledge of the era.
In the famous scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones is chased by a giant fiberglass stone ball that weighs more than 2,200 pounds. The special effects team rolled it backward so it would appear faster on screen. This is a strange pen that has a live worm trapped inside it. The animal belongs to the genus of parasitic nematodes called anisakis, which are infectious to several types of fish and also to humans. And as hard as it may be to believe, in the design of this pen, we can see several of these worms swimming in a small tank. It was created by Japanese entrepreneurs as a reminder of how dangerous consuming raw seafood and fish can be to our health. The first car air conditioners worked with water, which cooled the air as it evaporated. The cool air came out through specific ducts. This system was rudimentary compared to modern ones, but it was a significant advance in vehicle climate control. Tarot is a set of cards used since the Middle Ages for divination, meditation, and self-knowledge. Its origin is uncertain, but some historians link it to ancient systems of esoteric symbolism and to European card games from the 15th century. This is Sevny, a village in the Black Forest, Germany, known for its tree houses. Each house measures approximately 700 square feet and has 2 bedrooms with a balcony, a bathroom, a fully equipped kitchen, and a living area. They also have Wi-Fi, television, and are built from local white fir at a height of approximately 14.8 feet. Terence Tao, an Australian-American mathematician, is considered one of the most intelligent people in the world, with an estimated intelligence quotient between 225 and 230. Intelligence is primarily measured through intelligence quotient scores, using standardized psychological tests that evaluate abilities such as reasoning, memory, and verbal comprehension. Osmia avosetta is a species of solitary bee that uses flower petals to build its nests, where its larvae will grow. These bees are known for their ability to create durable and moist structures using natural materials. In 2020, a 48-year-old man in Italy went viral for walking more than 280 miles after an argument with his wife. He began his journey in Como and arrived in the municipality of Fano. He was stopped by police after his wife reported him missing. The man completed the entire journey on foot thanks to the help of people who offered him food and water. Bees breathe through holes called spiracles, located along the sides of their bodies. These spiracles allow gas exchange, enabling them to work inside the hive for long periods of time. The fully electric Rolls-Royce aircraft called Spirit of Innovation completed its 15-minute maiden flight in September of 2021. This aircraft is part of the Excel program and represents a major advance in electric aviation technology.
Here you can see how the Earth breathes. This is the pulse between vegetation and ice over the course of 1 year.
Canadian photographer Nathan Starzinski recorded an impressive video of the northern lights from an airplane. Upon learning that there would be a magnetic storm, he carefully prepared to capture the aurora. He booked a window seat facing north in the rear of the aircraft, set up a tripod, and pressed the camera lens against the glass to avoid reflections, using a sweater wrapped around the camera.
Methylene chloride found in scientific toys, such as the hand boiler, has a high vapor pressure. This allows the liquid to expand and rise when it is worn by the hand, creating a fascinating effect. This toy is popular in educational settings because it demonstrates principles of physics and chemistry in a visual and entertaining way.
Believe it or not, this is a robot, not a person. For a long time, China has been working on humanoids, and the idea is that robots could eventually be mistaken for humans. The goal is to use them for productivity in certain jobs, for example as teachers in schools, and even to replace people who are no longer in this world.
The border between Canada and the United States is the longest international border in the world, with a length of approximately 5,525 miles.
The moose is the mammal with the largest antlers in the world. These can reach lengths of up to 5.9 feet and weigh around 44.1 pounds.
In recent years, China has led the large-scale adoption of digital money. With applications such as WeChat Pay and Alipay, much of the urban population has stopped using cash, preferring digital payments for everything from small purchases to real estate transactions. The Chinese government has also launched an official digital yuan, marking the beginning of a new era in the global economy, in which physical money may become obsolete.
Contemporary artist Ava Roth is known for her honeycombs collection. She collaborates with bee colonies to create unique works of art. Roth creates her designs using threads and other materials and then places these designs inside beehives, where the bees build honeycombs around them. This process results in impressive works of art that combine human creativity with nature. A Canada goose has between 20,000 and 25,000 feathers. This number of feathers keeps its body at a temperature of approximately 104 degrees Fahrenheit, regardless of freezing temperatures outside. Beyond Brick built a water park made of Lego. This channel is known for content related to Lego constructions, including creative projects and themed sets.
The longest foosball table in the world measures approximately 495.4 feet and was built in Istanbul, Turkey in 2023. This Guinness record surpassed the previous one, which belonged to a table measuring approximately 449.5 feet in China. Jenga holds the Guinness World Record for stacking the largest number of wooden blocks vertically on a single piece. In total, there were 1,512 blocks.
The letter J is not present in the periodic table of elements. This is because chemical symbols are derived from Latin, where the letter J did not exist as such, since it was a variant of the letter I.
Angel Falls, the tallest waterfall in the world at approximately 3,212 feet, gets its water from rainfall that falls on the plateau of Ollantaytambo in Venezuela. Although clouds are often below the summit, constant rainfall and mist in the region feed small streams that flow toward the edge of the tepui. This creates an uninterrupted flow of water, resulting in the impressive plunge from such heights. This is splash diving, a peculiar sport that consists of creating large splashes when falling into the water. To achieve this, participants usually dive like a cannonball, allowing them to create a greater impact in the pool. According to people who practice this discipline, it is not as painful as it seems. Competitors must perform 4 jumps. The first is judged only on the splash, but the other 3 earn points for acrobatics before hitting the water.
The Ybot S100 is an autonomous pool cleaning robot that can climb walls and clean multiple surfaces, such as concrete and tiles. It has a long-lasting battery and a simple cleaning process, allowing owners to enjoy their pool without worrying about maintenance.
The Flemish giant rabbit is one of the largest rabbit breeds in the world. Its average weight ranges between 13.2 and 22 pounds. However, some specimens can exceed this range, reaching up to 39.7 pounds in exceptional cases.
This is the Fine Fire, a device that activates automatically upon contact with fire and extinguishes it instantly. Its advanced technology allows for a fast and effective response in emergency situations.
Soccer is the most popular sport in the world, with more than 4 billion fans. The first FIFA World Cup was held in 1930 in Uruguay and was won by the host team.
Since then, the tournament has become the most watched sporting event on the planet, with hundreds of millions of people tuning in to watch the final. Soccer has transcended borders, becoming a universal language.
This is how a supermarket is reorganized. They literally lift the entire aisle. Reorganizing a supermarket is an art. It is not only about moving products around, but about ensuring an optimized shopping experience for customers.
Tony Boo is a Spanish trial rider who is a 34-time world champion, with 17 outdoor titles and 17 indoor titles, making him the rider with the most world championships in history. Here is a small example of why he has been so successful. Wellington, the capital of New Zealand, is known as the windiest city in the world, with an average wind speed of approximately 17 miles per hour.
In Belgium, there is a bicycle path that passes through the middle of the water. It is as if someone had split it in two. In some sections, it is low enough for the water to reach the cyclists.
The wind and rain bridges of China, in the province of Guizhou, are unique covered structures built by the Dong ethnic minority. Designed without a single nail and using traditional carpentry techniques, these bridges not only provide safe passage over rivers and streams, but also serve as places for social gatherings and celebrations for local communities. Omphilophobia is a specific phobia that causes an irrational and disproportionate fear of navels, whether one's own or those of other people. People who suffer from this phobia may experience intense anxiety and discomfort at the sight or even the idea of a navel.
If someone were to travel to the region of the solar system beyond the orbits of Neptune and Pluto, they would encounter a region known as the Kuiper Belt. This belt is not empty. It contains a large number of icy bodies, including dwarf planets, comets, and other trans-Neptunian objects.
Nomophobia is a psychological disorder that refers to the irrational fear of being without a mobile phone. Symptoms may include anxiety, rapid heartbeat, and headaches. The term comes from the English phrase no mobile phobia, which literally means fear of not having a mobile phone. It is recommended that people who suffer from nomophobia consult a specialist to receive help and reduce their dependence on the device. During the Second World War, prisoners in German concentration camps used Monopoly money, the famous board game currency, as a medium of exchange within the camps. These bills were provided by the Red Cross, along with other supplies. Although it was an improvised form of money, it allowed prisoners to buy food and other goods from one another, showing how money can emerge under any circumstances. This is an impressive mecha suit. It is a giant robot skeleton that can be operated by a person. It was developed by a group of students at the National Institute of Technology of Okinawa. The robotic structure measures 9.8 feet in height and weighs close to 88 pounds. Despite looking quite impressive, the robot does not have many movements. Its price is around $93,000. In 1745, a woman named Hannah Snell joined the British Army while disguising herself as a man. She managed to keep her gender a secret despite receiving 500 lashes and a gunshot wound to the groin. After her service, she revealed her identity and, like her male comrades, received the military pension. The largest world map made in ancient times was hand-drawn by Italian cartographer Urbano Monti in 1587. It measures approximately 10.8 feet in diameter and was originally composed of 60 sheets. In 2018, a team from Stanford University digitally joined the sheets to form a single large map. In the United States, when school buses stop to pick up or drop off children, all nearby vehicles must stop, both those traveling in the same direction and those coming from the opposite direction. You may only continue once the bus resumes its route. Failing to follow this rule can result in a fine of up to $1,000 or even several days in jail. The person responsible for creating these incredible works is photographer Monica Carvalho, a Swiss photographer who lives in Berlin, Germany. She has gone viral on social media for her surreal images, which she creates by combining photos of herself, her friends, pets, places she has visited, and various objects. Her image combinations are striking and manage to blend a wide variety of colors, textures, and shapes to produce amazing results. In April of 2024, 34 years had passed since the launch of the Hubble Space Telescope into orbit. During its long mission, Hubble has revolutionized our view of the universe and has carried out some of the most innovative discoveries in 20th century astronomy. These are some of the images captured over the years by this impressive telescope. Did you know that cockroach milk exists? It provides 4 times more nutrients than cow's milk. It comes from a very particular species, Diploptera punctata, native to Hawaii. Instead of laying eggs, they give birth to live young, which are fed with a non-dairy milk. The kilt, the traditional Scottish skirt, is a national symbol of Scotland and originated in the 16th century. Originally, kilts were pieces of fabric that wrapped around the body and were secured with a belt. Each Scottish clan has its own tartan pattern, which makes kilts a symbol of family identity as well. Today, kilts are worn on formal occasions and cultural events in Scotland. The inverted waterfall is a natural phenomenon found near Talca in the Malay region of Chile. This spectacle occurs when strong wind currents cause the waters of the Malay River to change direction and flow upward instead of falling like a traditional waterfall. It is a true display of nature that seems to defy gravity.
This is the beach in Mexico where the sea glows at night. Holbox Island in the Mexican Caribbean is known for its spectacular bioluminescence. This phenomenon occurs due to the presence of microorganisms in the water that emit light when disturbed, creating a blue or green glow. It is an impressive and unique experience that you can enjoy on this beautiful island.
Antarctica is not governed by any country. It is regulated under the Antarctic Treaty signed in 1959, which defines the continent as a place dedicated to freedom of scientific research for peaceful purposes and to international harmony. This treaty prohibits military activities and promotes scientific cooperation and peace.
Bro, a content creator known as Big Brow, measures approximately 6.9 feet tall and shares videos showing the everyday challenges he faces due to his height. In his posts, he includes situations such as being close to the ceiling, going to the supermarket, or using the shower, highlighting the difficulties of being so tall.
The longest land border of France outside Europe is located in Brazil along French Guiana. This border measures approximately 418 miles.
The equatorial line passes through 14 countries, making it one of the most important geographic divisions on the planet. It marks the point where the Earth is divided into two equal hemispheres and is famous for its warm climate and the biodiversity it supports.
Microsoft designed an anechoic chamber in 2015 at its headquarters in Redmond, Washington, which is recognized as the quietest place in the world. In this space, the silence is so absolute that you can hear your own heartbeat and the movement of your bones. Most people cannot tolerate it for more than a few minutes because of the discomfort it causes. Discover Lake Baikal, the deepest lake in the world, located east of Siberia in Russia. This lake reaches a depth of approximately 5,385 feet and could eventually become an ocean. In addition to being the deepest, it is the oldest lake on the planet, with an age of approximately 25 million years. It contains the largest reserve of fresh water on the Eurasian continent, equivalent to 20% of the world's reserves.
The Gateshead Millennium Bridge is located over the River Tyne between Gateshead and Newcastle in England. Due to its peculiar design, it is considered the only tilting bridge in the world. It was designed by architect Wilkinson Eyre and structural engineer Gifford, and measures approximately 394 feet in length. When a boat needs to pass beneath the bridge, a true engineering spectacle takes place.
Rafael Zunho Britti, a man from Brazil, set a world record by walking on a rope tied between two hot air balloons. The walk was performed at an altitude of almost 6,500 feet, which is more than twice the height of the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world.
The search for extraterrestrial life is fundamental to understanding our existence and the universe. It helps us explore whether we are alone, understand the origin and evolution of life, and discover possible extraterrestrial habitats. It is a mix of scientific curiosity, potential for technological advances, and the deep human need to explore the unknown.
Astronaut Harrison Schmitt, who was part of the Apollo 17 mission in 1972, discovered something surprising. He had a strong allergy to lunar dust. Imagine going to the moon and encountering this unexpected challenge.
Bears are extremely intelligent animals. They have a great ability to find food and avoid hunters. Animal trainers and biologists claim that bears are more cunning than dogs and that their intelligence is almost on the same level as that of chimpanzees.
In the United States, although English is the dominant language, it is not the only official language due to the country's cultural diversity. Spanish is the second most spoken language and is very influential, especially in states with significant Latino populations, such as California, Texas, and Florida. In addition, due to immigration and globalization, a wide variety of languages are spoken across the country, including Chinese, French, German, and more, completing a list of more than 350 languages.
The flag of Denmark, known as the Dannebrog, is the oldest national flag in continuous use. According to legend, it was created on June 15, 1219, during the Battle of Lindenus in Estonia.
The ancient Polynesians were extraordinary navigators and explorers who spread across the vast Pacific Ocean. Using the stars, wind patterns, and ocean currents, they managed to colonize remote islands such as Hawaii, New Zealand, and Easter Island.
Astronaut Mark Kelly smuggled a full gorilla suit onto the International Space Station without anyone noticing. He put it on, and you can imagine the scare the rest of the crew got.
Pearlfish, also known as Caripidae, have a peculiar relationship with sea cucumbers. These fish often take refuge in the rectum of sea cucumbers to protect themselves from predators. In Lake Titicaca in Peru, the Udos people live on floating islands that they build themselves using totora, a type of reed that grows abundantly in the shallow waters of the lake. These islands must be continuously rebuilt due to the decomposition of the totora at the bottom.
The Netherlands and Azerbaijan are the only two countries that have their capitals below sea level. In the case of the Netherlands, its capital, Amsterdam, is located approximately 6.6 feet below sea level. On the other hand, Baku, the capital of Azerbaijan, is located on the coast of the Caspian Sea, which is the largest lake in the world and lies 91.9 feet below sea level.
The MOBA is a museum where bad art is exhibited. It is the only museum in the world dedicated to collecting and displaying art that has been classified as bad. It has at least two locations, one in Somerville and the second in Brookline, both towns in Massachusetts. The works on display are not particularly beautiful and do not meet either modern or traditional standards. Some were even found in the trash, but at the MOBA, they are given special value.
The Truck Surf Hotel is a mobile hotel based on a modified Mercedes Actros. This hotel allows guests to enjoy activities such as surfing, yoga, trekking, and horseback riding while traveling and changing destinations without leaving its facilities. It also features all the amenities of a regular hotel, including a kitchen, bathroom, and bedrooms.
Located on the border between Argentina and Brazil, Iguazu Falls are one of the most impressive natural wonders in the world. Composed of approximately 275 waterfalls, they offer a majestic display of beauty and power. North Pole in Alaska is a small city with a population of approximately 2,740 inhabitants. In fact, one of the city council members is named Santa Claus. His real name is Thomas Patrick O'Connor, and he changed his name to help raise awareness for his activism in child health and well-being. Box turtles belonging to the genus Terrapene have the unique ability to completely close their shells. The lower part of their shell, called the plastron, works like a hinge, allowing the turtle to shut its shell to protect itself from predators. The aardvark is a nocturnal mammal native to sub-Saharan Africa. Its physical characteristics include rabbit-like ears, a kangaroo-like tail, and a snout similar to that of pigs. Its diet consists mainly of ants and termites, and it digs underground burrows to shelter from the heat during the day, coming out only at night to hunt. The famous musical piece Flight of the Bumblebee by Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov is inspired by the ability of bumblebees to fly despite having relatively small wings compared to their bodies. This piece is known for its rapid succession of notes that simulate the buzzing of a bumblebee, capturing the essence of these insects' flight. This is a pedestrian bridge with a curious circular design. It consists of 5 round decks with masts of different heights supported by 118 steel cables. It is called Cirkelbruen, or Circle Bridge in Danish, and it is located in Copenhagen, Denmark. It was designed by the artist Olafur Eliasson, and its construction was completed in 2015. It measures approximately 131 feet in length and connects to the city's cycling network. The famous painting The Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh was painted in 1889 during his stay at the St. Paul de Massol Psychiatric Hospital, where he was admitted due to mental health issues, including episodes of depression and hallucinations. The painting represents the view from the window of his room at the asylum and is one of the artist's most recognized works. The human bone is incredibly strong and can support a significant amount of weight. 1 cubic inch of human bone can support the weight of approximately 5 pickup trucks and is 4 times stronger than concrete. The Padmanabha Swami Temple in India is famous for its treasure valued at approximately $22 billion, composed of gold, precious stones, and historical artifacts. Although several vaults have been opened, Vault B remains closed, and its contents continue to be a mystery.
Its history and secrets make it a unique place that inspires curiosity and awe.
The Great Wall of China has a total length of more than about 13,000 miles, making it the longest architectural structure ever built. It was constructed over several centuries with the purpose of protecting the Chinese Empire from invasions by northern nomads.
Various studies have shown that people tend to be more creative in the shower. Warm water helps relax muscles and reduce stress, creating a state of relaxation. In addition, the absence of external distractions in the shower allows the mind to wander and generate new ideas, fostering creativity. Thanks to matrix technology, you no longer have to switch between low and high beams in your vehicle. These systems detect other cars and block the light to avoid blinding them.
The first color photograph in history was taken by James Clerk Maxwell in 1861. Maxwell used a technique known as the Maxwell triad, which consisted of taking 3 black and white photographs using red, green, and blue filters. These images were then projected using corresponding filters to recreate a color image on a screen.
United States banknotes are made of fabric, not paper. United States dollars are unique compared to the banknotes of other currencies around the world that are made of conventional paper. Dollars are made of 75% cotton and 25% linen, which gives them exceptional durability and strength.
The Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris, one of the most iconic symbols of Gothic architecture, began construction in 1163 and was completed in 1345. Most surprising is that its famous gargoyles do not only serve a decorative purpose, but also a practical one. They act as drains to prevent rainwater from damaging the walls of the church. After the devastating fire of 2019, restoration efforts are underway to return it to its original splendor.
Imagine sleeping peacefully and waking up to the aroma of freshly brewed coffee, or having the alarm go off and, a few minutes later, already having your coffee ready without getting out of bed. What we all need is a peculiar coffee-making alarm clock. Its name is the Barisier, and it is a product from the brand Joy Resolve by British designer Joshua Renouf. The device also offers wireless charging options while it prepares a cup of tea or coffee. In addition, you can choose exactly when it will be served, so it is ready when you wake up.
Toby, a Whippet dog, achieved the Guinness record for popping 100 balloons in 36.536 seconds. Kiribati, a small archipelago in the Central Pacific, is the only country that has territory in all 4 hemispheres: north, south, east, and west. This is due to its unique distribution of islands that extend across the international dateline, both in the northern and southern hemispheres and in the eastern and western hemispheres. This special geographic location makes Kiribati a unique place in terms of the interaction of Earth's hemispheres.
In 2018, a viral video showed Pancho, a police dog from the Madrid Municipal Police, practicing a cardiopulmonary resuscitation maneuver on a fellow police officer during a drill. Pancho demonstrated his skills by performing chest compressions on the man and checking his pulse.
If you are looking for maximum energy in the morning, apples can be more effective than caffeine. Although caffeine is a common stimulant, its effect is temporary and can cause energy spikes and crashes. In contrast, apples contain natural sugars and fiber, which provide a sustained release of energy. In addition, apples can give you mental clarity due to their vitamin content.
For his role in the movie Castaway, Tom Hanks gained approximately 50 pounds to better portray the character Chuck Noland. After filming the first half, production stopped for 1 year so that Hanks could lose the weight and grow his hair and beard before continuing with the second half.
A supermoon occurs when the full moon reaches its closest point to Earth in its elliptical orbit, known as perigee. This causes the moon to appear larger and brighter in the night sky. This astronomical phenomenon captures the attention of observers and photographers around the world, who seek to immortalize the impressive view.
Our fingers do not have muscles. Instead, they are made up of bones, ligaments, and tendons. The muscles that control finger movement are located in the forearm, and those that control the toes are located in the calves.
In just one day, a hummingbird can visit up to 1,000 flowers.
Scotland has the highest proportion of redheads in the world, with approximately 13% of its population having red hair. This trait is due to a genetic variant that is more common in the northern and western regions of the country. In areas such as the Isle of Skye, the frequency of redheads can reach up to 40%. This characteristic is a source of cultural pride, and many Scots consider red hair a symbol of identity and national heritage. Despite being known as the 100 Years' War, which pitted France against England, It lasted 116 years and was marked by emblematic battles such as Crécy and Agincourt. This conflict also brought about significant changes in medieval society and strengthened national identity in both countries.
Throwing stones across water to make them bounce is called stone skipping. To do it well, the throw must be made at a low height with a flat disc-shaped stone. It is important that the water is calm and that there is little wind. The world record for stone skipping is 88 skips, achieved by Kurt Steiner in 2013.
This is a robot that tries to imitate the human voice, and although it may seem like something else, it is simply a robot attempting to sing.
Spiders can adjust the tension of their webs to better detect vibrations. By doing so, they can distinguish between different types of vibrations produced by prey, predators, or potential mates. This ability is crucial for their survival and hunting success.
The pygmy seahorse, scientifically known as Hippocampus bargibanti, is one of the smallest seahorse species in the world. Its size barely exceeds 0.8 inches. In addition, these tiny seahorses are known for their impressive camouflage ability, which allows them to blend perfectly into their surroundings.
If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe so you don't miss more interesting content. Leave your comments and click on any of these videos. See you next time.